She understands that life may not always hand her a helping hand or offer a comforting shoulder to lean on. From a young age, she realizes that waiting for someone else to lift her up is a path that leads only to disappointment. She learns early that strength is not something she will inherit. It is something she must forge herself through fire, struggle, and sheer determination. Every obstacle that comes her way is not a signal to stop, but a challenge to grow, a chance to discover the untapped power within her. She understands that life is not meant to be easy, and the absence of support does not define her. It shapes her into someone unstoppable. Each day, she faces situations that test her patience, her courage, and her resilience. She experiences moments when the world seems indifferent, when friends turn distant, and when the love she hoped for fails to materialize. Yet she refuses to allow these absences to dictate her self-worth or to weaken her resolve. Instead, she looks inward, realizing that the greatest source of strength comes from believing in herself, trusting her own instincts, and refusing to rely on external validation. It is in these moments of solitude that she discovers her true power. The very situations that could have broken her instead become the furnace in which her courage is tempered. She learns to stand firm, to face adversity with unwavering determination, and to turn setbacks into lessons rather than defeats. She knows that independence is not a burden. It is a choice, a declaration that she will not let circumstances or people define her trajectory. While others may see a lack of support as a disadvantage, she sees it as an opportunity, a blank canvas upon which she can paint her own story, without compromises or limitations imposed by others. She does not need a hand to hold, a voice to cheer her on, or approval to continue. She only needs the fire within herself, the unwavering belief that she is capable of achieving greatness. Every challenge she faces alone is a stepping stone, every trial a training ground, and every moment of struggle an opportunity to sharpen her mind, her skills, and her resolve. Her journey is marked by moments of silence where she contemplates, plans, and strategizes. In the absence of support, she discovers the depth of her own resilience. She becomes resourceful, learning to solve problems independently, to face fears head-on, and to adapt in ways that those reliant on others never need to. She realizes that relying solely on oneself is not a limitation but a liberation, freeing her from the chains of dependency and the uncertainty of others' priorities. She understands that the path to true empowerment is paved with self-reliance, patience, and relentless perseverance. Every decision she makes, every action she takes, is rooted in the knowledge that she alone carries the responsibility for her success and her happiness. The absence of love does not diminish her spirit, it fuels her ambition. She does not wait for validation or affection to feel worthy. She knows that self-love and self-respect are far more powerful than seeking approval from anyone else. She nurtures her mind, her body, and her soul, building a foundation so strong that no external force can shake it. She learns to find joy in her accomplishments, satisfaction in her efforts, and fulfillment in her growth. The love she creates for herself becomes the anchor that keeps her steady, the light that guides her forward, and the fire that ignites her dreams. She becomes the architect of her own happiness, refusing to let the absence of others' affection determine the quality of her life. Every setback she encounters is met with introspection rather than despair. When doors close, she does not blame the world or retreat into self-pity. She looks for new paths, alternative routes, and creative solutions. Failure is not a reflection of inadequacy, but a lesson in disguise, a signal to adjust, learn, and rise stronger. She celebrates her small victories as milestones of progress and uses her struggles as evidence of her growing resilience. In doing so, she cultivates a mindset that is unshakable, a spirit that is unstoppable, and a confidence that radiates from within, drawing admiration from those who witness her journey without diminishing her independence. Her solitude becomes a source of empowerment rather than loneliness. In moments of quiet, she reflects on her values, her goals, and her vision, sharpening her focus and building clarity. She learns to trust her instincts, make decisive choices, and act with confidence. Every challenge she faces without support strengthens her ability to navigate the world on her own terms. She does not rely on others to define her path because she knows that the only way to achieve true freedom and success is to trust herself, to embrace her journey, and to rise regardless of the obstacles. Through it all, she embodies the essence of a real woman rising alone. She proves that strength is not dependent on companionship, that courage is not contingent on approval, and that independence is the ultimate form of power. Life may test her, society may underestimate her, and circumstances may challenge her, but she stands undeterred, fueled by determination, self-belief, and an unwavering commitment to rise above every obstacle. Every day, she turns absence into opportunity, solitude into strength, and struggle into mastery. She does not wait for help, she does not crave love, and she does not need validation. She creates her own path, shapes her own destiny, and rises alone, unstoppable and unbreakable. She embraces independence not as a burden, but as a declaration of freedom, a conscious choice to live life on her own terms. While the world may try to define her worth based on the people who stand beside her or the love she receives, she refuses to allow others to dictate her value. She knows that validation from anyone else is temporary, fleeting, and often unreliable. True strength, she understands, comes from within, from cultivating a sense of self-reliance that is unshakable no matter the circumstances. Each day she walks her path alone, she grows more confident, more capable, and more certain that her destiny is hers to create, not dependent on anyone else's approval or affection. Every step she takes without support becomes a testament to her courage and resilience. She learns to trust her instincts, make difficult decisions, and face challenges head-on without the reassurance of others. The absence of love, guidance, or encouragement does not weaken her. Instead, it sharpens her focus and fuels her ambition. She becomes the kind of person who finds solutions where others see problems, who discovers opportunities in obstacles, and who rises above adversity without waiting for a helping hand. Her independence is not born of necessity alone. It is cultivated through choice, discipline, and the unwavering belief that she is capable of achieving greatness on her own. She understands that societal expectations often try to define a woman's worth based on relationships, support systems, or external validation. Yet she refuses to accept these limitations. She recognizes that her value is inherent and cannot be diminished by the absence of love or assistance. Each challenge she faces alone becomes an opportunity to prove not only her strength, but also her ingenuity, her perseverance, and her unbreakable spirit. She walks through life with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that dependence is optional, but self-reliance is essential. The world may doubt her, may question her choices, or may underestimate her capabilities, but she continues undeterred, guided by the knowledge that her power lies in her ability to stand tall, even when no one stands beside her. Her independence is a source of liberation. She does not live to please others or to earn approval. She lives to honor her own values, dreams, and ambitions. She discovers that when she stops seeking validation, she opens herself to new possibilities, creativity, and personal growth. Each day she spends relying on herself strengthens her sense of purpose and sharpens her vision. She does not allow loneliness to become a weakness. Instead, she transforms it into clarity, reflection, and self-discovery. Solitude teaches her patience, fortifies her courage, and gives her the freedom to pursue her goals without compromise. She understands that being alone does not mean being incomplete. It means being whole, empowered, and capable of achieving her highest potential. She learns to celebrate her victories, no matter how small, because she knows they are the result of her own effort, determination, and perseverance. Each accomplishment, earned without support or encouragement, becomes a symbol of her strength and a reminder of her capabilities. She does not wait for recognition to feel worthy. She understands that self-respect, pride in her work, and belief in her abilities are more meaningful than praise from others. Her independence allows her to grow into her most authentic self, unburdened by external expectations and unshaken by the opinions of those who fail to understand her journey. Challenges that might have broken someone reliant on support only refine her character. She faces obstacles with creativity, resilience, and strategic thinking, learning to navigate even the most difficult situations without complaint. Failure is not a setback, but a teacher, showing her how to improve, adapt, and persevere. In every struggle, she finds lessons, insights, and the opportunity to become stronger. The absence of guidance or love does not hold her back. It propels her forward, encouraging her to rely on her skills, her intelligence, and her inner strength. Each challenge she overcomes alone becomes a testament to the indomitable power of a woman who refuses to be defined by dependency. She understands the value of self-discipline, determination, and vision. Without the support of others, she becomes more accountable, more focused, and more driven. She learns to rely on her own judgment, trust her instincts, and make decisions with confidence. Her independence is not isolation, it is empowerment. It is the freedom to pursue her goals, create her own path, and define success on her own terms. She does not measure herself against the expectations of society or the accomplishments of others. She measures herself by the progress she makes, the resilience she builds, and the courage she displays every day. Through it all, she becomes a beacon of inspiration. People notice her strength not because she seeks admiration, but because her independence radiates confidence and determination. She shows others that a woman can thrive without waiting for support, love, or validation. She proves that courage, self-belief, and relentless effort can overcome any obstacle, and that independence is not a sign of loneliness, but a mark of power, maturity, and resilience. She rises above doubt, criticism, and adversity, not relying on anyone else, but drawing strength from her own abilities, convictions, and unyielding spirit. Her journey teaches a profound truth: love, support, or applause are luxuries, not requirements for success, growth, or fulfillment. A real woman embraces her independence, finds power in her solitude, and rises because she chooses to rise. She becomes the architect of her life, the creator of her destiny, and the definition of strength itself. She does not wait for others to lift her up. She lifts herself, carrying her dreams, her vision, and her spirit forward with unwavering determination, courage, and grace. She rises not only to survive, but to redefine the meaning of strength, courage, and empowerment. Every step she takes alone is a statement, a declaration that her value, her potential, and her future are not dependent on anyone else's presence or approval. Society may try to place limits on her, may question her choices, or may doubt her capabilities, but she refuses to let external doubt dictate her journey. She understands that the essence of true power lies in self-belief, determination, and resilience. She does not wait for encouragement, support, or affection. She rises because she has made the conscious choice to rise, to claim her space in the world, and to pursue her dreams relentlessly. Her path is rarely easy, and the challenges she faces alone are formidable. Yet each obstacle becomes a lesson, each struggle a stepping stone, and each moment of adversity an opportunity to strengthen her resolve. When doors close, she does not dwell on disappointment. She searches for new paths, for hidden opportunities, and for ways to overcome without compromise. She learns to adapt, innovate, and find solutions in situations where others might falter. In the absence of support, she discovers resourcefulness, creativity, and an inner strength that proves more powerful than any external assistance. Every challenge she overcomes alone is a testament to her resilience, her intelligence, and her unwavering commitment to rise above limitations. Love, she realizes, is powerful, but it is not a prerequisite for her success. She understands that waiting for affection or validation from others can become a form of limitation. Instead, she cultivates self-love, finding confidence, purpose, and joy within herself. She nurtures her mind, her body, and her spirit, understanding that her own growth is the most valuable investment she can make. When she stands tall in her achievements, it is not to impress anyone or to receive acknowledgement. It is to honor the effort, sacrifice, and perseverance that she has poured into her journey. She learns that her fulfillment is self-created, her happiness self-sustained, and her power self-claimed. Criticism and doubt are inevitable, but she meets them with calm confidence. She knows that the opinions of others are reflections of their perspectives, not indicators of her worth or abilities. Instead of letting negativity hold her back, she uses it as motivation to prove herself, not to others, but to herself. She embraces challenges with courage, faces risks with determination, and turns failures into lessons. Every experience, whether painful or triumphant, contributes to her growth and her mastery of herself. In doing so, she builds a strength that cannot be shaken, a spirit that cannot be broken, and a legacy that cannot be diminished. Her independence is a powerful form of freedom. She does not define herself through dependency, nor does she allow relationships, societal expectations, or the lack of support to limit her potential. She becomes the author of her own story, choosing the direction of her life, setting the standards for her achievements, and creating her own measure of success. Each step she takes alone solidifies her identity, sharpens her vision, and clarifies her purpose. She knows that relying on herself is not a burden but a gift, one that allows her to live authentically, courageously, and unapologetically. Every triumph she achieves alone becomes a symbol of possibility. She demonstrates that a woman does not need external validation to realize her dreams. That strength is found in perseverance, and that empowerment comes from self-belief. She inspires not because she seeks recognition, but because her journey embodies a truth that resonates universally. Independence, courage, and resilience are the foundations of greatness. Those who witness her rise see not just success, but the transformative power of a woman who refuses to be constrained by the absence of support, the lack of love, or the doubt of others. Her victories are not defined by comparison to others, but by the effort, persistence, and determination she invests in herself. She celebrates her own progress, her own courage, and her own achievements, understanding that self-acknowledgement is more powerful than external praise. She does not wait for anyone to recognize her worth, because she has already claimed it for herself. Each step forward is a declaration of autonomy, a statement of purpose, and a demonstration that a real woman rises alone when she chooses to rise unafraid and unbound. She also understands the ripple effect of her journey. By rising alone, she becomes an example, a beacon for others who may be struggling with dependency, doubt, or lack of support. She shows that obstacles can be transformed into opportunities, that absence of love does not equate to absence of power, and that independence is not isolation but empowerment. She proves that when a woman embraces her strength and believes in her abilities, there is no limit to what she can achieve. Every challenge she faces alone strengthens not only her own resolve, but also the belief in others that they too can rise, stand tall, and claim their place in the world without relying on anyone else. Ultimately, she rises because she chooses to rise, not because she must. She rises to honor her own potential, to fulfill her own dreams, and to embody the kind of strength that inspires and transforms. She turns solitude into a source of clarity, struggle into mastery, and independence into triumph. Her journey is a living testament to the power of self-belief, the importance of resilience, and the limitless potential of a woman who refuses to wait for support, love, or validation. She rises alone, but her rise carries the weight of inspiration for all, proving that courage, determination, and self-reliance are the truest forms of power. And now, let me ask you, what does it mean to rise alone? Look around, look within, and ask yourself, are you waiting for someone to hold your hand, to tell you you're enough, to show you the way? Because here's the truth. No one is coming to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. Life does not pause for those who wait. Life moves forward, and it rewards those who decide, here and now, that they will rise regardless of support, regardless of love, regardless of circumstance. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You might be saying, but I can't do this alone. I need someone. And to that I say, who said you ever needed permission to be powerful? Who said anyone else's love or support defines your worth? Listen to me and listen carefully. Your power, your resilience, your ability to rise is already inside you. It has been there all along. It was never dependent on someone else noticing it or validating it. The only approval you need is your own. The only hand you need to hold is your own hand. Imagine, just for a moment, the woman you could be if you stopped waiting. Imagine the life you could live if you trusted yourself completely, if you acted boldly without fear of judgment, if you celebrated your victories, no matter how small, because you earned them with your own effort. That woman, the confident, unstoppable, radiant woman, is already inside you. She has been waiting for you to stop doubting and start rising. And the moment you make that choice, the world will notice, not because they lifted you, not because they loved you, but because you carried yourself, carried your dreams, carried your fire on your own two shoulders. Yes, rising alone can be hard. It can be lonely. There will be days when you feel invisible, unheard, unsupported. But let me tell you something, those days are not your enemy. They are your teachers. They are the moments that will shape your character, forge your courage, and sharpen your determination. Every time you face a challenge alone, every time you persevere without applause or approval, you are building a strength that cannot be taken from you. A strength that no one can question because it belongs to you fully and unapologetically. And don't think that rising alone means being cold or distant. No, it means being so fiercely committed to yourself that you honor your own dreams above all else. It means loving yourself so deeply that the absence of others' love cannot shake your foundation. It means walking into every room with the confidence that you are enough. You are capable and you are unstoppable. Can I be honest with you? This is the real definition of freedom. Freedom from dependence, freedom from doubt, freedom from the expectation that someone else must validate your journey. When you embrace your independence, you realize something magical. You don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just endure, you conquer. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every moment of solitude becomes a chance to connect with the greatest ally you will ever have, yourself. Now hear me. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am enough. I am capable. Say it out loud. Say it until your doubts shrink, until your fear flees, until your courage grows so loud it cannot be ignored. Because words have power, belief has power, and when you combine them, when you speak your truth and act on it, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. And let me remind you, rising alone does not mean rising without impact. In fact, it is the most powerful inspiration anyone can witness. When you rise alone, you show the world what is possible. You show other women, other young girls, that strength is not dependent on external circumstances, that courage is not conditional, that greatness comes from within. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, every victory you achieve is not just yours. It is a beacon, lighting the way for others who might still be waiting, who might still doubt themselves, who might still feel unsupported. You become the proof that rising alone is not weakness, it is power. So I challenge you, what will you do today? Will you wait for someone to hand you your dreams? Or will you rise and claim them yourself? Will you let the absence of love or support hold you back? Or will you rise with more courage, more determination, and more fire than ever before? Because here is the truth that I want you to carry with you always: no support, no love, no problem. A real woman rises alone. She rises because she chooses to. She rises because she refuses to be limited. She rises because the only person she needs to believe in her is herself. And when you rise in full force, undaunted, unshaken, unstoppable. Your power is not borrowed, it is yours. Your courage is not granted, it is earned. Your destiny is not waiting for someone else. It is waiting for you. So rise. Rise when it is hard. Rise when it feels impossible. Rise when the world doubts you. Rise for yourself, and in rising, show the world what a real woman is made of. Remember this: the fire inside you is stronger than any challenge outside. Your strength is greater than any obstacle. Your resilience is deeper than any fear. And when you rise alone, you rise fully, unapologetically, and gloriously. No support, no love, no problem. Because a real woman, a powerful woman, rises alone, and she rises beautifully.